I 100% totally stand by our people, our holy IDF soldiers, and our leadership as they are defending us with strength, clarity, and a vision rooted in Jewish destiny in this 7-8-9 front war where we have to take care of Gaza finally. Overcoming the deep state powers in Israel, in the military, legal establishment and courts, and the media that have made it so much harder to fight this war and elongate this war, hijacking the hostage issue and protest movements. But today, what I'm about to say is with a heavy heart. Because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who I've countlessly explained and defended many times, is making two critical mistakes right now that I wish he wouldn't be making. We will overcome them, but I still wish he wouldn't be making them. Bottom line, Netanyahu should be reminding the world day and night about what happened to our people in Hebron 94 years ago, the night of the 18th day of the Jewish month of Av, August 23rd, August 24th, 1929, when the streets of Hebron were red with Jewish blood. 67 innocent Jews, including 14 children and teenagers, were butchered, raped, and mutilated in cold blood by their Arab Muslim neighbors of Hebron. 24 of the victims were students of the famed Hebron Yeshiva, boys between the ages of 17 and 22, including Americans, brutally murdered while studying Torah. Nearly 80 more were seriously wounded, most of them women and children. Families were torn apart, bodies were desecrated, homes were looted and set ablaze. The 1,000-strong Jewish community of Hebron that was there for thousands of years, one of the 4 holy cities of our ancestral homeland, was erased in a matter of hours because the British then expelled the Jews after the massacre, saying, "We can't protect you." The Jewish presence in Hebron was extinguished, not by any settlements, not because of an occupation, but by sure unadulterated genocidal hatred of the Jew. And the international community, as I said, Britain expelled the surviving Jews, as they did to the Jews in Gaza in 1929, because they said they couldn't protect the Jews from their genocidal Muslim neighbors. That was in 1929. This shows us that what happened to us on October 7th, 2023 is nothing new. It is a historical pattern of genocide highlighting that we are under attack for centuries by an Islamic jihad, genocidal death cult. There was no state of Israel in 1929, no IDF, no checkpoints, no security barriers, no so-called occupation, and certainly no settlements. Yet the Arab Muslims in Hebron and Gaza slaughtered their Jewish neighbors in 1929. Why? Because this isn't about borders. This conflict never was. It's not about Palestinian national aspirations. It's not about the Oslo peace process or Gaza or a green line. This is about the same genocidal Islamic ideology that fueled the Mufti of Jerusalem's alliance with Hitler in the Second World War, and that today inspires Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, Sunni, Qatar, and the radical mobs chanting in the streets of London, New York, Berlin, Paris. At protests around the world, they scream, "Khaybar, Khaybar, Ya Yehud." That's not a reference to Israel's borders or security policy. That's reference to the 7th century massacre of Jews in Khaybar, Saudi Arabia, by Muhammad's Muslim army. It's a call for history to repeat itself. So let's stop pretending October 7th wasn't an isolated act of terror. It was another step in the continuation of a 1,400-year-old Islamic religious war against the Jews. The knives and axes used in the Be'eri kibbutz and Kfar Aza on October 7th are the same ones used in Hebron in 1929 and in Khaybar in the 7th century by Muhammad. It's the same ideology, and the hate is the same. They didn't murder Jews in Hebron in 1929 because of the occupation. There wasn't one. They did not burn and rape and behead children in southern Israel in 2023 because of settlements in Judea and Samaria. That's just the excuse they give the whole world. They did it and continue to do it because of a religious death cult motivation to subjugate and kill Jews and other non-Muslims. Because they are indoctrinated with a religious ideology that sees Jewish existence as a crime and Jewish sovereignty in our ancestral homeland as a threat. Because they view our very presence in our indigenous lands, which the Quran says belongs to the Jews, from Hebron to Tel Aviv to Gaza, as an abomination. It's time for all of us to wake up. The Jewish people, we are not colonizers. We are not occupiers. We are a nation returning home to beautiful Jerusalem after millennia of exile, persecution, and genocide. We have every right to live freely and securely in Hebron, Jerusalem, Gaza, Judea, and Samaria, not just because of modern history, but because of ancient truth and history. Because this land is ours since the Bible. And there is good news. The Hebron Yeshiva, which barely survived that horrific massacre in 1929, was relocated to Jerusalem. Today it is home to 2,200 students, a living testimony to Jewish resilience and faith. We are still here. We will be back in Gaza. We're going to be back taking over Hebron, more than just the hundreds of families there. So when someone claims to you that the terrorism is about the occupation, ask them which occupation they're referring to. Jewish occupation in Hebron in 1929 or Khaybar in the 7th century? No, this isn't about land. It's about truth. And the truth is, this is our land. And we, the Jewish people, are here to stay, waiting for our national, organizational, and religious leaders to speak like this to the world. Not just me and the Pulse of Israel and friends of mine, but from our government and our leaders. Because Netanyahu is not talking like this. Instead, as Netanyahu announces the latest plans to liberate Gaza, he is still making two major mistakes. Mistake number one, entertaining another ceasefire deal. We are at war with a barbaric, death cult Islamic enemy that rapes, tortures, and burns Jews alive. The very idea of negotiating another ceasefire that Hamas would then use to rearm, regroup, and booby-trap areas previously cleared by our holy IDF soldiers, while they still hold on to our hostages in tunnels and cages and torture them and starve them in Gaza, sends the worst possible message that our pain is negotiable, that our justice is delayed, that evil can outlast us and emotionally manipulate us, that by kidnapping us they can stop us from properly winning a war, and they incentivize future kidnappings of Jews in the future. Publicly affirming that more ceasefires for partial deals are possible doesn't pressure Hamas. That helps Hamas. What pressures Hamas is overwhelming military force and the moral conviction that we will never stop until every last terrorist is buried or in chains and their genocidal death cult don't live near us. You don't win a war for your people's future against an evil Islamo-Nazi enemy by managing it and negotiating with it. You win it by unleashing your will to victory. Which brings me to mistake number two. Netanyahu entertaining another Arab self-rule in Gaza. If we've learned anything from Oslo, from the 2005 Gaza expulsion, from every failed two-state fantasy and pullout of land by Israel, it's that giving Arabs self-rule in any part of our land is a setup for the next massacre. They regroup, rearm to attack and murder us again. Now there is talk, dangerously tolerated by Netanyahu himself, of letting some moderate Arab-led structure govern Gaza the day after we win. Has Netanyahu learned nothing? This is a 1,400 plus year old religious agenda to destroy us. And giving any of them Gaza again ensures a future of conflict with the enemy population there, whether they attack us in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, or in 10 years. There is no de-radicalizing a 1,400 year old agenda to destroy us with the support of the Western progressive left that wants to give them a state as a reward for October 7th. We can never allow Arab self-rule to take hold in Gaza, ever again. The only solution that ends the war and ensures peace is for Gaza to be Jewish again, with the implementation of Trump's immigration plan for all Gazans. That is the only deterrence. That is the only justice. That is the only reality. This is not about vengeance. This is about our survival as a nation in our ancestral homeland. Netanyahu says he's prioritizing the return of hostages over winning the war. Like, he still wants to win the war, but he wants to get all the hostages. Of course we want them all home. But you do not prioritize a few, 20 hostages, as painful as it is, over the safety of 10 million Israeli citizens, over the future of our people, over the prevention of the next October 7th invasion and massacre and mass rape. That's not leadership. That's short-term emotional politics masquerading as morality. I know, and I explained to you, that Netanyahu is prioritizing waging this war slowly and not convincingly to try to save the remaining hostages in order to keep unity of the nation, because it's the deep state that manipulates the hostage issue to tear our national unity apart each week with a new demoralizing media campaign trying to topple the government, end the war, surrender. So Netanyahu's trying to neuter that and ensure that the whole nation sees that he's trying to rescue them. But regardless, we must return to the Jewish moral leadership of the Entebbe and Sabina hostage rescues. Never negotiate with these evil Islamo-Nazis. Prioritize national security to prevent future kidnappings as well. I say all this not as someone against the Prime Minister, but as someone who wants people to better understand the full picture of our situation and the pressure that Netanyahu is in as our national leader, which he even disappoints me, even though I understand it. I'm deeply disappointed by these decisions and announcements of Netanyahu, but I know, because I believe in the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, and in the truth. And the truth is simple. There is no other way forward but total victory over our Islamo-Nazi enemy in Gaza. No other way forward but Jewish sovereignty in all of our land. No Arab self-rule, regardless of Netanyahu's saying that to actually implement it or is just trying to placate the world. There's no other way forward but making Gaza Jewish, again, under Jewish sovereignty, 100%. No Arab self-rule. Not because of ideology, because of reality. Because we are in a war for our future, and we will win, even if total victory is delayed due to Netanyahu's latest decisions or announcements. May they not be implemented. Ultimately, the only end to this war is the implementation of Trump's immigration plan for Gazans and to make Gaza Jewish again, totally under Israeli sovereignty, because that is the only way to deal with this genocidal Islamic death cult that is never going away, and it's after the whole freedom-loving world all over the West as well. And we here in Israel are the front line. So we must take our land back in Gaza as soon as possible to protect all of us. Prime Minister Netanyahu is the best prime minister we have ever had, but we are still waiting for better, true Jewish leadership who can go all the way and tell the world about Hebron 1929 and connect it to October 7th and explain to them exactly what we're experiencing and how we solve it properly without making these mistakes. We're going to do it. Whether it happens today, tomorrow, in 5 years, there is only one way forward that's going to end up happening, because that's reality. Yisrael Chai. Stick with Israel, stick with us until the end, and stick with demanding for total victory. May we rescue all of our hostages, but the priority is total victory in this war and ending the evil Islamo-Nazi entity in our midst. We are winning, and we will win. Am Yisrael Chai. If you are not yet a subscriber to our daily, belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect, truthful videos about Israel, the Jewish people, and the freedom-loving world, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe today. And yes, we are a donor-based operation. We need your donations for support in order to make these videos and get our videos seen and do all the work we do. So every once in a while, whether a large donation or a small donation, just go to pulseofisrael.com and click on the donate button. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.